Alright guys, back with another video, and I see you guys asking for this all the time. We're in the next deck profile, TENYI deck profile, and we got the side deck included, so I'll get into that later. Let's get right into it. Matter of fact, TENYI's a nice deck, nice and cheap, and I think it's very powerful rogue deck. Not the strongest, but I like it. Cool art too. So let's get to it. We run 3 TENYI Spirit Ashuna, 3 TENYI Spirit Adhara, and 3 TENYI Spirit Shatana. That's not all the TENYI Spirits we run, but let's go over these. So we got, this is our main card. We want to see this card all the time because it can bring out the most monsters. So basically what it does, all of them have the same effect. You can special summon themselves from your hand if you control no effect monsters. And while they're in the graveyard and you control a non-effect monster, you can activate their second effect, which differs between each TENYI. So this TENYI right here, while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, right, while you control a non-effect, and special summon 1 TENYI monster directly from your deck. And that's how it really gets your combos going. And the thing is, you don't need this to get your combos going, but you know, it's very nice. This card right here, while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to add a worm monster from your banish to your hand. So it's just good recursion. You want to see TENYI, you want at least 1 TENYI in hand before you go off, because you want to get into your normal extra deck monsters. Next thing we have, this one right here is when a normal monster is destroyed, like I said, to the graveyard, but like anyway, you can basically bring it back, special summon it back, and pop a card on their side of the field, picks up monster. Very powerful card. You know, that's why you run it at 3. It's a good defensive card. You can special summon this card off of this if you need some defense. So off this card, you can special summon whatever TENYI you need to be in the graveyard. Need it, you know, so it's very nice. Our next set of TENYIs, we're gonna play 3 Mashuda, 1 Morodura, and 1 Nahada. Okay, so we play 3 Ashuna. This is like a shooter, because this is like an offensive thing. Like if they have a trap card in the field you don't like, or if they have a monster in the field you don't like, you can easily just banish it from your hand. You can also banish these from your hand if you control a non-effect monster. It's very useful sometimes. So you can banish this card and then bounce a card on the side of the field, bounce it back to the hand. So actually very nice. Although it targets, but we don't care about targeting. Anywho, one of these cards, their effects they don't happen very often, but they happen. And you know, extra TENYI names. So this one is when a normal monster you control is targeted by a card effect, negate the effect and destroy the card. Very nice. You gotta banish it first, of course. And also this one right here, you can, when a monster battles a normal monster, you can decrease that monster's attack by 1500. So basically it makes basically you just win any battle. Most battles, of course. And they don't even expect it. They don't read your cards, so they just go and attack, and they don't even know what's gonna happen. And another thing, the level 4 TENYI monsters, they the level 4 TENYI monsters, they have a quick effect, so they could activate from the hand. So you don't need to have them in the graveyard for the activates for the effects to activate. Next, with the TENYI monsters, we got 1 Mare. Mare, very powerful card in this deck. People run more Mares, but you can easily search this card. And they also, since we run a lot of Desires, it would be smarter to run more. But you don't need Mare to go off, but when you do get Mare, you can go crazy with this card. So basically what it does is only be summoned by worm monsters, and it can summon up to 3 tokens, thrice per turn. Thrice. Nice. On to our next card, 3 Vanity's Fiend. You know what I'm saying? Vanity's Fiend, everyone knows what it does. We got the highest rarity. 3 Vanity's Fiend. Easy to get out because we do not use our normal summon. Very crazy, very crazy. Onto our hand traps. 3 Ash Blossom and 3 Effect Veiler. So the reason we run 3 Ash Blossom, this staple hand trap, we can negate basically any type of deck. 3 Ash Blossom. and it could be used as a combo piece to summon an extra deck monster. Since it's a level 3 tuner, you don't need your normal summon. You have level 4s in here, and we have a level 7 synchro, so you know what's up. 3 effect failures. People will wonder, like, why don't you play infinite impermanence? Well, we don't need it, because the game plan of this is have your field spell on the field, and when you draw 2, you want to draw into hand traps that you can use off rip. You can't use infinite impermanence if you have cards on the field, so it's just a better pick for this deck in particular. Alright, moving on to our spells. We run 3 Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. This is one of your best spell card. It's basically a Foolish Burial and a Reinforcement of the Army in 1 card. You can send a worm to the graveyard, first effect, but if you control a non-effect monster, you can also add a worm, add a TENYI to your hand. So easily just summon your worm, go into your non-effect extra deck monster, activate this, send Mare to the graveyard, and then add any worm you need to your hand, any TENYI you need for your hand, and just go off with it. So this is your best card. You always want to see this over and at 3. Moving on. 3 Foolish Burials and 2 Heavenly Dragon Cycles and 1 Flawless Perfection of the TENYI. So the reason we run 3 of these, we're only using these to send these to the graveyard. The reason we run 3 and 2 of these, because most people run 3 of these and like 2, but I'd rather see this than this, because seeing this in your hand sometimes is a brick, especially when you draw it off for turn. So for me, of course, because I be drawing this a lot, so I'd rather see this in my hand so I can send it to the graveyard, search whatever I need, search my field spell. Since we only need 1 field spell because we can search it off of this. And what this basically does is you can tribute 1 worm monster you control and then add a worm to your hand. And if it was a normal worm, if it was a normal monster, then you can special summon that worm that you added to your hand. So pretty decent. And while it's in the graveyard and you control a non-effect monster, you can banish it and add a TENYI card, any card, to your hand, which will preferably be this. And this right here, what it does is non-effect monsters you control are unaffected by the effects of effect monsters. And if your opponent special summons a monster while you control a face-up non-effect monster or just a face-down monster like this, you draw 2 for free. Very nice. Only once per turn though, but still very nice. And the face-down effect comes in handy sometimes, because this will be on the field. They would probably book a moon, your Vanity's Fiend. Alright, now I can go off. But then they go off. You draw 2 because it's face down. Draw into your hand traps and their turn, so like that. On to our next cards. We play 2 Pot of Desires and 1 Pot of Avarice. I see some people run 3 and 3, and I think that's kind of stupid, because this would be a break, and this you don't want to see it very often. You want to see it, but not often. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to banish the other copy with this. That's what I'm trying to say. And this right here, if you see it, it's basically a brick card because you can't use it on the first turn, of course. But it's very nice because you go through your extra deck very quickly, so you need to get that recursion, the draw power. And this right here, you run so many copies of your stuff, so it doesn't really matter what you banish, unless you banish Mare, which would be kind of tough. Onto our traps, we run 3 Fists of the Unrivaled TENYI. Omni Negate while you control a non-effect monster, and if it's destroyed, set face down, you can special summon a normal monster from your extra deck. And some of y'all might know what that monster in particular is. I'm gonna let you know because it's a fun effect. It's a really fun effect. That's why I run 3. Most people run 1 or 2, but I run 3 mainly because of that last effect. And then finally, 1 Skill Drain. You know, you can activate this and kind of win games, start beating down on them, because you do have some really big beat sticks, and you have effects that activate in the graveyard and in the hand, so you don't really care about the effects on the field. That's why this is very useful in this deck, and very powerful card. Alright, on to the extra deck. Okay, we run 3 Monk of the TENYI, this is the card you want to go into off of your TENYI monsters. You know, just like your basic card, you want to always go into this, and that's why you run pot of avarice to get this card back, because we be going through it like quick. But this card can also do work too, since all the TENYI monsters giving protection and strength. It can do work. It looks pretty weak, but it's a decent card in this deck. You run 3 Shaman of the TENYI. I run 3 right now because you could run another monster set. You can run 2 of these, but I'm running 3 because over here I be getting like negated a lot, so I'm gonna need 3 for the long game. This deck can go for the long game too. It can also go for OTKs as well, so I just run 3. Very powerful card. Let me tell you the effect. It discard 1 card, special summon a worm from your graveyard, and preferably that worm would be a mare to go like summon your 3 tokens, summon whatever else you need. You can replace this third one for like Appaloosa, so like, you can go straight into Appaloosa with just 1 card. Next, play 1 Berserker TENYI, 3000 Beast Deck, 1 Draco Master of the TENYI. You can pop cards for the number of normal monsters you control and normal monsters in the graveyard. So basically just wipe their field, only monster cards up. And then 1, this is like your boss monster. Sada is very strong, protects your normal monsters, protects your effect monsters, and doesn't protect your normal monsters. It makes your normal monsters like the main, like they'll have to attack into your normal monsters, because this effect says they can't target your effect monsters for attacks. Also, they can't like affect them with effects. So very strong. I always go into this, close out games for OTK. Oh yeah, also it can target a card in the field and copy its attack and defense as a token. So that's very strong. You run Linkuriboh and Land for Morpheus, just to get cards off your side of the field if you get like Nibiru or something, and it's a normal monster, so it's pretty easy to go into. And Linkuriboh, just extension for your token plays. Onto our synchro monsters. We run 1 Baxia, Brightness, and Yahtzee, Evil, the Instinct. So this card we would usually go into if we have like a weird hand. We can special summon our level 4, then normal summon our hand trap, and easily pop a couple cards in the field. Just pop a card, pop himself, summon him. You can balance 2 cards in the field. So very good cards. You could replace this for another card if you want to, but this card I think is required. And then the main dude, Draco Berserker. This guy's the main reason I picked up this deck. Very powerful card, and not only in this deck but in other decks he's used often. Very nice card. And then finally, card y'all been waiting for, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Look at this. Secret rare, you already know. Highest rarity. 4,500. Easily get someone with our trap card. If they think they can Harpy's Feather Dust to you, just psych, bring this dude out and just like yank, attack for game. Alright, on to the side deck. Of course I gotta show you my tokens first. Pokemon tokens, you need it, it's required. If you don't have Pokemon tokens, you ain't gonna be able to play this deck. You need them. Alright, side deck, 3 Ghost Ogre. You can replace your the cards you replace with your side deck is Vanity Spin, Effect Veiler, and Ash Blossom. You can replace all those cards with these cards. Drone Lockwood, Artifact Lancia, Kaijus. This you can switch out if you want to. This is just for monster cards I can't get rid of, like Dragoon or Megaclops, those impossible monsters. And finally, your Tornade. It's your bootleg Feather Duster, because you can OTK in this deck very easily. So you're gonna get 3 of these if you're going against a back row deck. back row heavy deck, take away the back row, and basically go full combo attack for game. That's why I run hit your nade. Usually when you use this, you're gonna kill them that same turn. That's why. Alright, and that's the full TENYI deck. Hope you guys like it, and see you guys in the next video.